Hello everyone, I have Cindy Anderson here from the Northwest Florida Manufacturers Council, and I wanted her to share a little bit about her organization and its mission. So let's start with that, Cindy. What's the mission of the Northwest Florida Manufacturers Council?
Well, it was created about 2 years ago, and its original mission was to be the single voice for manufacturing throughout Northwest Florida. And it was interesting because when they did that, they said, well, what voice are we going to have? And they got with manufacturers, and the question came up, what's the most challenging issue you have to being successful? And most of the manufacturers, especially the larger ones that have so many employees, they said, over the next 5 years, it's going to be getting that skilled workforce in. So we've got the baby boomers leaving, and we're not seeing as much education in manufacturing, and we really are concerned that we're not going to be able to fill those jobs.
Wow. Wow. Now, who all is involved? Companies, people, who's involved?
Well, we've got manufacturers and affiliates, and on our board of directors, we have a phenomenally strong board. Greg Britton, who's the CEO of Fort Walton Machining, is our chair, and then our co-chairs are Stan Conley, CEO of Gold Power, which I'm sure you know, and Alan Benz, who is with GAC Contractors over in the eastern end of Northwest Florida. So, and then we've got locally on our board, we've got Tom Hurst with Ascend, and Brent DeJean with IP, and just got Russ Johnson with Armstrong.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Yeah, we're really excited. It's a really strong board.
Now let me ask you this. What are some of the big hurdles that you guys run into?
We started this first year looking at secondary education. And the biggest hurdle is getting over the public awareness of what manufacturing is.
Wow.
Yeah. The parents and the kids, they think it's this hot and dirty and grease underneath your nails, and, it's just hard work all day. And, as you probably know, being with some of the manufacturers around here, it's not like that. It's as much IT as it is anything else. And it really is a changing world. This is not your grandfather's manufacturing. And getting the word out on that has been our biggest challenge.
Do you ever try to provide any tours?
Actually, we do. We have, and that has worked really well. We do a lot where we take, especially the secondary and some of the junior college, they don't call them junior colleges anymore, but the state colleges and through some of the manufacturing facilities. And I love to go on those whenever I have a chance because it's so great to see the kids go, I had no idea. I like this. This is cool.
Yeah.
So if we can start getting their parents in there with them to start encouraging, I think that would be a huge deal.
Yeah,
I'm kind of, actually we thought about putting a PTA, get the PTA groups going through the manufacturing facilities.
Yeah, that's great. So what are some of the projects that you guys are working on?
Well, we've got the World of Possibilities coming up at the end of the month, and PSC, Pensacola State College, has about a dozen different worlds, and the world of energy and healthcare and IT, and we've got the world of manufacturing. This is only the second year we've done it. So we've got educational facilities coming in and bringing some of their training equipment. We've got manufacturers coming in and trying to find things that we can bring in that's the cool stuff, the 3D printers, and I think Ascend's bringing in their hazmat suits and things that 8th graders, it's mostly 8th and 9th graders, middle schoolers, will go, ooh, maybe when I get into high school I need to start looking at one of those academies. So I'm excited about that because we'll touch about 2,000 kids on the 2 days at the end of February. Next week, we're going to Tallahassee. We've got Manufacturing Day at Tallahassee. So the regional manufacturing associations and a lot of the manufacturers throughout the whole state of Florida will be gathering in Tallahassee and meet with the governor and some of the legislators and just do an awareness of what manufacturing means to Florida. So many times people think that tourism and public service is it, but manufacturing is definitely creeping up into one of the most financially beneficial industries in Florida.
Now, you say next week, but the reason we're videoing this now is because February 3rd, today, the showing of this at the Industrial Council is the reason you're not here.
I couldn't be there. I would have said these things in person, but we're doing this the 3rd and the 4th will be in Tallahassee.
Right. So Manufacturers Day.
That's
That's
the
it.
Manufacturers Day
Okay.
that we're doing in Tallahassee.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's the legislative efforts that we do.
So are there any other upcoming events?
We've got the general membership meeting. We have
Okay.
a quarterly general membership meeting with all our affiliates, all our manufacturers.
Mhm.
And we try to have some type of a topic that is interesting and beneficial to everyone. I think this month, in February, when we have our next one, we're gonna have the economic development groups from all over Northwest Florida
Oh,
come
wow.
in and talk about what they're doing in their county. And then, of course, Florida's Great Northwest, the regional economic development, talk about what they're doing a little bit bigger,
Okay.
50,000 foot as opposed to 2,000 feet. And so it'll be at Chipola College. We always do it someplace so that after the business meeting, we have a tour of what's being initiated in education
Okay.
to support the manufacturers.
Okay, yeah, that's great, that's great, that's great. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Any manufacturers that y'all talk to that aren't a part, I'd love to talk to them.
Okay.
Not just about being a member, but getting involved in what we're doing.
Mhm.
The academies that we're working on, that's one thing we didn't talk about, was the Northwest Florida Manufacturers Council was fortunate enough to work with UWF last year and get $1.5 million to set up some academies
Oh, wow.
throughout all of Northwest Florida. So we're setting up 6 academies, and that's middle school and high school. And we have determined that the only way that these are going to be successful is if our manufacturers get involved
Mhm.
to help us educate the educators in what's really needed, and then bring the workforce boards in there too. So, that's taking up a lot of time. Jennifer Grove with Gulf Power has
Mhm.
taken on that task.
Yeah.
She is passionate about it. But
She does great work.
Yeah,
She does
that's
great
something
work.
we're always trying to get the word out to manufacturers to get with me. Being a member is always great, but
Yes.
getting involved in your local education system so that you can start producing the employees that you're gonna need.
That's excellent. Cindy, thank you for your time.
Thank you, this was
All right,
fun.
thanks.
Sorry I'm missing the meeting. I thought I
That's
had a
okay.
good time.